kids! Welcome to our lesson for today. So, remember last time we talked about how Elijah and Elisha went on this journey together because Elisha refused to leave Elijah alone because God had made him Elijah's companion and friend and helper, and he stayed that and he was faithful with that until the end, even though he knew Elijah was about to die.
Yes, and even though Elijah asked him to stay behind, he refused and he decided he was going to go with Elijah until the end.
Now we're gonna see what happens next with Elijah and Elisha.
Yes.
So as they crossed the river Jordan, they kept walking and walking and walking. And then finally Elijah turned to Elisha and said, What is it that you want from me? What do you want from me? Because Elijah knew he was about to die and he was going to leave Elisha behind. So he wanted to leave him with something.
Yes.
Then Elisha looked at Elijah and he said, I would like to inherit your greatness and your power as if I was your eldest son.
Yes. And Elijah looked at Elisha and thought, and even said it, that is a very hard thing you have asked for. But if you will see me today being taken away, then you're going to get what is your request. You're going to get what you want.
Yes. So Elijah and Elisha kept walking and talking, and they were walking and talking slowly until Elijah saw a fiery chariot come down from the sky, pulled by fiery horses, and this chariot of fire came down and it blocked him from Elijah. So it stood in the middle of Elisha and Elijah. And then Elisha tried to look through the fire. He was trying to see Elijah, what was happening to Elijah, and he was able to see a figure of Elijah, and then a strong wind came down, and then the wind who took Elijah and took him up to the sky. And Elisha watched all of this happen, and as he watched Elijah be taken up into the sky, he called out, my father, great prophet of Israel, please do not leave me. But even as Elisha was calling out for Elijah, he knew that that was the last time he would be seeing Elijah.
He knew that he was not going to see Elijah again. And Elisha stood there in sadness and lost in wonder of what just happened, because he thought, what is this? I'm not going to see Elijah again. What was that took him away? So he was there and he was sad because he would not see Elijah again, and then he was in wonder because of everything that had happened. But then he looked down and you remember the clock that Elijah had used to part the Red Sea?
The River Jordan.
The River Jordan. The clock that Elijah had used to part the River Jordan. Elisha saw that clock right there and he took it up and he decided,
I am going to see if I have inherited Elijah's greatness and power.
Yes.
So Elisha went down to the River Jordan, and then he did exactly what Elijah had done before. He took the cloak and he struck the water. And when he struck the water of the River Jordan parted, and now there was a path for Elisha to walk down. And this showed Elisha that he had indeed inherited Elijah's greatness and power, just as he had asked for.
Yes, so Elisha had gotten his request because now he was able to do what Elijah had done. He was able to part the River Jordan, and he knew that what he had asked for, which was the greatness and the power of Elijah, had actually come to him now. And then the people on the other side, remember the prophets who were telling Elisha that Elijah is going to go today. Do you know Elijah is going to leave you today?
Yes, those prophets.
They were also there on the other side of the River Jordan,
and they were waiting to see Elijah and to see what had happened to Elijah and Elisha.
Yes.
So when they saw the water part and they saw Elisha is the one who had parted the water, then even the prophets agreed and they said, Elisha has inherited the great power of Elijah.
Yes, so remember that was the request that Elisha had asked for. So he had asked to get the greatness and the power of Elijah. And exactly what he had asked for was given to him. Was exactly what he got. And this was because Elisha remained faithful to Elijah, just as God had told him that Elisha was going to be Elijah's companion. He remained faithful until the end. And when Elijah was taken away, the request that Elisha had, he actually got it. And this tells us as children that God expects us to be faithful to our friends and to our leaders and to our parents. And when we are actually faithful even unto Jesus Christ, then we are able to get the reward of faithfulness, and that is what we want. That is what God wants for us. God wants us to have the results of faithfulness. He wants to reward us with a lot of things that we desire, but we have to be faithful. So now we are going to stand up and sing our song. So let's all stand up and sing the song.
So it's time for us to sing our song. Now we've just talked about how God sent down a chariot of fire, with fire horses pulling the chariot to take up Elijah. So now we're gonna sing a song that we sang when we first started talking about Elijah, and it says, "Send down the fire," because we're asking God to send the fire that He sent for Elijah. So everyone, stand up and help us sing this song. God of Elijah, hear our cry. Send the fire and make us fit to live or die. Send the fire today to burn up every trace of sin, to bring the light and glory in. The revolution now begins. Send the fire today. Send the fire. Send the fire. Send the fire. Send the fire today. Send the fire. Send the fire. Send the fire. Send the fire today. Send the fire today. Send the fire today. Yeah. Okay, kids, it's time to do our craft. Now we've just talked about how Elijah was taken up into heaven with a chariot of fire. So now we're going to make a chariot of fire with Elijah, so that we remember that Elijah was taken up with a chariot of fire. And after that, because Elijah witnessed all of this, the power and greatness of Elijah passed on to Elisha.
Yes. So for this, we're going to need different kind of items. So we're going to need a manila paper. So just got like a rectangular manila paper. Then I printed out a fire, and then that is what I'm going to color and use it as the fire to make it a chariot of fire. So this paper is going to make the chariot, and this will be the fire. Then I drew Elijah, a small Elijah, so I'm going to color him out, and then I'm going to put him inside the chariot, and then I'll put a ribbon to give a handle to my chariot, and then you're going to see how the chariot is going to take away Elijah.
Yes.
Okay, so for now, what I'm going to do is I'll start with the fire. So I'll just take my colors, color yellow and color orange and maybe red. So this is what I'm going to use to decorate my fire. So there you go, just color. So after I'm done decorating my fire, I'm going to put that aside and then pick Elijah and also decorate his outfit. So I'm done coloring Elijah, and you can see there's at least it's a person now. So I'll put that aside also, and now I want to make the chariot. So first of all, before I fold it, I'll take my pen, and then what I'm going to do is I'll write what this is. So I'll say chariot of fire. So with bold letters, let me use a different pen. So just make it bold and big letters, and I'll just say chariot. Okay, so that's a chariot of fire. So what I'll do is I'll fold it to make a cylindrical shape. But make sure you can be able to see the word chariot of fire. So after I do that, I'll just staple it together like that. And so I have this cylindrical shape that looks like a cylinder. And then I've written chariots of fire, and I can be able to read through it, chariots of fire. Then I'm going to take my Elijah and I'm going to put him inside the chariot. So he's inside the chariot, so you staple that so that you don't lose Elijah. So put him inside there. Then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the fire to the chariot. And so the fire that I had colored, I'll just put it at the bottom right there and then staple it and make sure it's stuck on the chariot like that. Then just to make this fire bigger, I'm going to use crepe paper, yellow and orange crepe paper, that I'm going to stick to the fire so that it looks like a big fire. So I'll put my glue like all over the fire that I had colored right there. And then I'll take crepe paper and just stick randomly on the fire. So that's enough for me, but you can add more. So the other thing I'm going to do is I'll take a ribbon that I just twisted it out to make it firm. Then I'm going to staple it on the chariot so that it acts like a handle for my chariot, so that I can be able to carry away Elijah. Okay, so staple it right there. And you're done. So now I have Elijah inside the chariot, and I have my chariot that I can be able to carry, and there's a lot of fire like right there at the bottom of the chariot. So what happened is that Elijah was carried away in the chariot of fire. So I hope you're able to make your chariot of fire, and you can do your little Elijah and put him inside the chariot and then carry Elijah away in the chariot of fire. So that is our craft today. But before we finish, you need to know what our lesson is and where it is from. So this story is found in the book of 2 Kings. So I just on my chariot, I'm going to write somewhere there, 2 Kings chapter 2. Chapter 2. And that is where you find the story of Elijah's chariot of fire. So there you go. That's our lesson. That's our craft today. And that's our chariot that carried Elijah away. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed your craft. Until next time, bye.